Over the past few days, a lot of people suddenly have noticed something interesting. The price of silver has gone up sharply, showing a growth of around 112% in market value over a period of time. Some people are happy because they watched a random Instagram reel past few weeks ago and bought the silver funds and now feel like they made the smartest choice they could. Others are confused, wondering whether they should invest now or if they had already missed the opportunity. But very few people actually understand why this increase happened. Most people see silver as a metal or commodity. Very few realize it's a currency that has been strategically used in industry. The real reason behind this sudden rise is not the hype, it's most likely the demand behind it. Silver is a critical component in semiconductors. Semiconductors are used in RAM and storage devices. So now you see how that makes sense. The sudden increase of RAM and storage device is not new to the people, as the data centers and AI infrastructure are using these RAMs to get their AI to processing better data and those storage devices to store the data they want. As the cost of manufacturing semiconductors increases, the demand of silver will obviously increase. When product costing goes up, price follows, which is natural for a money to grow that way. And this demand surge was already expected, especially after a major announcement in AI world, including the released roadmap of advanced model like an AI 5.2, which signals massive future demands for computer hardware, as they will need more RAM to process it and storage to store their data. This is how inflation actually works in real world. Price doesn't always increase randomly. They increase because demand shifts, cost may change, and money flow reacts to that. And this is exactly why today on Investigator we are going to understand the base principle behind the truth about how money actually works in the market. Before we talk about investing, we first need to understand what we are actually fighting against. And that starts with inflation. Inflation shows up in different formats. Demand pull inflation, price rises because too many people want the same thing, but supply is limited. Cost push inflation, price rises because making goods become more expensive. Monetary inflation, price rises because too much money is chasing the same goods. Imported inflation, price rises because imported goods become expensive. Built-in inflation, price rises because people expect to get paid more, dealers expect to sell more, and manufacturers expect that their products should have a better value in the market. So, what we understand from all this is simple. Inflation either increases the cost of things you buy or reduces the purchasing power of the money you hold. And your money is not growing faster than inflation, then you are silently losing the value of your money, which is in your savings account, every single year. Now, let's talk about something very important: purchasing power of a currency. Purchasing power means how much you can actually buy with your money you are currently holding. If today a thing can be bought for 100 rupees, like one item or so, after 10 years, 100 rupees will not buy the same amount of items anymore. Which is obvious as we have seen this function since our childhood. The school fees are no more the same, the food expenses are increasing for the same quantity and quality, which means money has lost its value over the time. Even though the number is same, the power is lower. This happens because inflation slowly eats away your money. And this is the biggest mistake most people make. They look at a number they hold in their savings account and not the value it holds, or is it losing after a decent number of time. Money that doesn't grow faster than inflation actually shrinks, and it will provide you lesser and lesser value as the time passes by. Now, let's also talk about something practical. Why buying expensive things in full cash is not always a smart decision. We've always heard this from everywhere, like even our parents has referred that if an expensive thing is being planned to be bought and you have a decent amount of money to buy it, then buy it in all cash. But it's not a great idea. You might have also stumbled upon a reel saying that using all your cash to buy something highly expensive is not great. We are taught that loans are bad by our parents and cash is always good as you don't pay extra for the thing you are buying in the mean of interest. But that's the only half truth. When you buy a high value item in cash, like a car, house, or equipment of some sort, you lock all your money into one asset. The asset, which will usually lose its value over time and will also cost decent amount for the maintenance of that thing. But when you take a planned loan, you keep your cash available. That cash can be invested and can grow for you. If you invest and grow faster than the interest you pay on the loan you already took, then it's more than a win for you. Because if you are paying an interest of 8% for a loan you took for that car and you are earning around 10 to 12%, if you did a research, the recent S&P and Nifties are earning around 10% profit every year, which is an average historical interest rate they have been getting from a long time. So you are decently earning more than you are investing in the interest you took for that loan. And just in case you put that particular asset into something like value, like instead of buying a car, you bought a house and rented it out, then that particular thing also get converted into a growing asset, which will obviously give you decent return, and you can also increase the rent amounts by a decent amount every year. So let's suppose you're paying around 8,000 per year for the interest amount, and you are gaining around 10,000 rent for that apartment you bought, and your investments are also growing at a rate of 10%. So it's more than a win because you're earning with the cash you are holding right now, and your asset which you bought with the loan is also earning for you. And if you look at loan this way, they don't feel bad anymore. Smart people don't always avoid loan, they use them strategically because it's a kind of money you can borrow from government, banks, or someone you know at a decent interest rate and get something that can earn you more. Now, after all this theoretical explanation, we stumbled upon a question why we never were taught these things in school or colleges. First reason, the education systems are slow to evolve. Every time, every year, a new subject is fallen across the education system and they have to adapt their syllabus according to it. But the changes in those syllabus are too fast for education system to grasp and provide it to the young ones. The world changes fast, but the syllabus changes slower. And we will be seeing this a lot in upcoming years too, as the subjects are evolving from tech to the finances itself. The real reason is the risk involved with the financial advice a person can get. If someone loses money after learning investment, no institution wants to take the responsibility of that loss. So those topics are eventually avoided by schooling industries. But then why didn't the banking system promoted these thinkings into people? Like, they are supposed to provide you better advices as they store your money, they keep your money safe for you, they invest it, that's what they say at least, to the people who are storing their money in these safer places. The reason is banking system don't want to promote something that people can do on their own. What bank want people to do is save money in their saving account, keep those saving account active and running. If increased amount is still saved in those saving accounts, put it back into FDs, which will earn more to the bank than the individual who is doing those FDs. Saving accounts and FDs do create a decent habit of saving, but they do not return a long-term wealth. Cause even though a lakh or 2 rupees are stored in that FD, it is just going to provide you with a 5% of interest, which is almost half what you can get from a Nifty 50 or S&P. Bank lends money to government, so they need a decent chunk of money in their accounts so that government can borrow that money to grow their governments and keep the country economically stable. But for that, banks also need their money in their accounts, right? This is why they prefer saying keep a saving account, keep it for emergencies, and if you have more funds than you can save, just put it into FDs, which they will loan it out to a government on a higher interest rates and will earn a lot more than an individual who is doing these FDs. So this messaging is always about safety and not growth when it comes to the customer they are serving. This video was not about telling what you should buy, it was about helping you understand how money really works. In the next video, we will talk about how a beginner can start investing with a small amount, If you want clarity instead of confusion, please subscribe. And if you found this video to be helpful and something you can learn from it, then please leave a like on this one. Because saving protects, but investing protects your future.